My wife is accusing me of something I would never do. Cheating. Guys, I love this woman. She's my dream. I would not do anything to harm her. So now I'm trying to figure out, okay, why would she try to set me up? Then it hit me. She wants something from me, and I won't let her have it.
Hello everyone. I hope you're having a great day. And even if you aren't, your day is probably going better than mine. The funny thing is that what I'm going through is not even the worst. The worst day or the worst week, although it started a week ago, it's looking to be like the worst year, and then the worst decade. Things are not looking good for me, and all of that's because of my wife. Let me explain the situation. My name's Trevor, and I live with my wife, Artemis. And before any of this, I've had a great life. Imagine this. You work an unbelievable job that does not require you to work many hours, and the workload is not heavy either. It's barely 5 days a week, and it pays super well. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, I genuinely have a dream job, something that people would sacrifice almost everything to have. On top of that, I fully believe that I have the best wife on the entire planet, because she was just that cool. She never stopped me from doing anything or going anywhere. She was never jealous of me, and most importantly understood and appreciated my passion. I love bikes, I love riding them. I have 2 bikes, both Harleys, a retro and a modern, and most weeks I go on rides with my friends who share the same passion. One thing I want to make crystal clear is that we're not a bike gang or anything like that. We're just a group of buddies who go on long rides together. Believe me, an absurd amount of people nowadays assume you're in some sort of bike gang if you have a bike group. Continuing, I genuinely believe that I had the best wife because she mainly never, ever stopped me from doing anything bike-related, and was always happy for me. She was not only a partner, but also like my best friend, and she never complained or moaned that I spent a lot of time on my bike. Also, don't start thinking that I'm a bad husband, because every single second I spend outside my work and away from my bike is spent with my wife. I love her very much, and I've always made sure that she knew how much I loved and appreciated her. I've always counted myself lucky for marrying her, and most times I would have to convince myself that this is not a dream and is real life. Sometimes I could not believe that I pulled a woman like Artie. She's beautiful. She's smart, strong, both mentally and physically. She's like the beast of the best. I can't even put into words how I felt about her until finding out that she was cheating on me. It made me feel... honestly, I still can't believe that my angelic wife turned out to be a disgusting human being. I mean, it's funny. I used to not be able to believe that this was real life or drama or a dream, and now I can't believe this is real life and not a nightmare. Coming from a kind of poor family, I never assumed that I would make it in life like I had. Working a great job and marrying a beautiful woman following my passion seemed like impossible things, but life made it possible. But I guess I got too lucky to get much from life, and it has now decided to take it away from me. The thing I love the most is my partner. Artie always acted like she was very happy with me too, which makes her betrayal very confusing. I mean, if she was suffering or if I did things to hurt or stress her, I would understand, but I'm a pretty good husband, I'd like to say. We have rarely had arguments, and I've tried my best to keep her happy no matter what. From the day we went out on the first date 5 years ago, I knew that I wanted to marry her, and I did. I thought that I had found my happy ending, but life had a twist waiting for me. Let me tell you how I found out. So last week, I went on a ride with a few of my friends, and one of those people were Shane. He only joined our group about a month ago, so I did not know him very well. He was the friend of our friend who moved away and introduced him. So the week before last week, I partnered up with Shane, as I did not know much about him and I was curious. So after like an hour of riding, we took a break and made small talk. It turns out he liked the same kind of things I did, so we became very quick friends. The next week, last week, we did the same kind of thing, but during our stop, Shane recommended that we try this restaurant nearby. Since our friends had already taken a break, they left and we went to have some lunch. The lunch was great, but what happened next almost made me throw up. So when I was in the washroom, my wife called, and Shane had seen her photo that I had kept as her contact picture. When I came back, he just told me that my wife called and did not say anything else. He was deep in thought, and after I finished speaking, he said that he saw the photo and felt that he had seen her somewhere. I got interested, so I showed him a few of her photos and pushed him to remember where it was. I just wanted to get a cool story from it for my wife. He kept saying he had seen her, but he can't place it for a good while. But then suddenly his eyes widened, and he started to scratch his head. This was a sign that he remembered, so I asked him, please tell. But he was hesitant. He then tells me that if I really wanted to know and that it was not a good thing and definitely not something I should find out from him. I told him he's scaring me, and at this point I was not going to let it go, so I asked him to spill the beans. He asked me once more if I was sure, and then told me a very horrifying story. He said that his brother, Sal, almost 2 months ago had gotten exposed by his girlfriend. It turns out Sal was cheating on his long-term girlfriend with a side chick. And that girlfriend, well, the girlfriend found out. She saw them together having a nice little lunch and then followed them to a hotel. She took some pictures of them and followed for weeks to get a mountain of evidence. And then on Sal's birthday, she exposed him in front of everybody with big photos of him dating someone else and humiliated him. After this, Sal was kicked out of the family, and Shane was the only one who was still in contact with him. Sal tried to explain that he fell in love with this other woman but could not break her heart. But this explanation was not good enough for anyone except Shane. All this time, I was just thinking that he just used this opportunity to just dump family drama on me. But at the end of the story, he said in a small voice that the woman was my wife. I said, "What woman?" and asked him to explain. At this point, he said that he was pretty sure that the woman his brother cheated with was my wife. He remembered her face from the photos, and this instantly made me mad. But I remained calm because I knew that he was only trying to help, and I told myself that he didn't know how my wife was. I told him that there was no way that it was her, but he was pretty confident in his recognition, and this started to scare me. He gave me every little detail of the accident, but there was nothing that worked as proof other than his memory. So obviously I was refusing to believe him and told him that he must have been mistaken. He apologized and then told me that no matter how I felt, he was sure of it. He asked me to try to check for myself and also said that if I wanted, he would ask the ex-girlfriend for a photo to confirm. At this point, I was properly mad, so I asked him to drop it and then did not speak to him for the whole day. I came back home mad and with 1,000 questions and doubts in my head. I was feeling very insecure. But as soon as I saw my wife, everything went away. I knew instantly that she could never cheat on me, but it turned out that it was only my love blinding me from the truth. But since Shane had buried the seed of doubts, my blindness started to go away. I slept for an entire day and noticed that my wife would take a few calls and text away from me, claiming it was work or a friend, and she was actually acting a bit weird, which I had never noticed. Once I started noticing these things, there was no going back for me. Because all I did after that was wonder if she was cheating on me or not. I didn't want to confront her, so I called Shane and asked him to do me a solid. He said that he had already been looking for the ex-girlfriend's number and would make contact in a few days. Believe me, no matter what, Shane is a solid friend. Then a few days later, I got tired of waiting and decided to just look in her phone as the answer was right there. So 2 days ago, when she was asleep, I opened up her phone and saw her text. She had tried to hide it, and normally I would not have seen it if I was not looking for it, but I found it. She was talking to a guy, Sal, and she was not only cheating on me. Guys, it looked like she was in a full-blown relationship with him, and I could not see much because I felt like I was going to faint if I read a second more. But she was fully in love with this guy, it's for real. It looked like they were in some sort of long-distance thing. Oh, I cried the whole night. Immediately the next day, Shane sent me a photo from the ex, and I didn't even need to look at it because I already knew the truth at this point. So this is where I'm at right now. I simply don't know what to do, if I'm being honest with you guys. I mean, she is the love of my life, and now I'm supposed to just let her go? I can't keep her with her sleeping around like this. But I also don't want to confront her. I mean, what would you do? Update number 1. Hey guys, it's been a whole 2 weeks since my last update, and this is going to be a disappointing one at first. But I have not yet confronted my wife. I'm sorry that this is what you guys wanted me to do, but I have a good reason behind it. Actually, I'm not going to confront her at all. She's playing a game with me, and I've decided to enter the playing field, so let me explain. So after I wrote my post, I asked Shane to monitor his brother's calls and texts whenever he could while I snooped on Artie. Before I decided anything, I wanted to know the full story and what she was planning, because as I told you last time, she was just cheating. She was literally in some kind of relationship. Well, let me tell you something first. At this point, I wish that she was just cheating, because it gets a whole lot deep. I'll completely be honest here, this was not supposed to be some sort of plan to uncover what she was doing, but was actually supposed to give me time to think. I had still not fully processed the fact that my wife was doing this behind my back, and at the end of all of this, I would have to leave her. I mean, duh. The people who have a marriage like mine probably understand what I'm talking about. And to those people, I just hope you never have to go through something like this ever. Every day feels like my heart is being ripped out of my body. It hurts. Very bad. Especially the fact that I have to see my wife and act normal knowing she's playing me and likes another dude. So while I was processing all of this, snooping on her and crying, there was a lot of crying. I started wondering why she had not run off yet. At this point, I was sure that she had been in this relationship for at least a few months. So why was she still with me? Was it because of her family? Or was it because she didn't want to go through a divorce right now? Well, I have a million questions, and a few days ago, I found the answers. Honestly, guys, I wish she would have just left me without telling me anything. It would have still hurt, but it would not have broken me like this. Finding out that your partner doesn't love you and wants to leave you hurts, but finding out that she's actively stabbing you in the back and doesn't even care enough to do this, the courtesy of leaving quickly, I think that hurts worse. So this is what I found out from a discussion that she had with Sal, and Shane later confirmed it. She did want to leave me, but she didn't want to go without taking anything, obviously. The person I believed was an angel was planning on accusing me of cheating, with fake evidence to divorce me and take 50% of everything I had. Genuinely, I could not believe her. After everything we've been through and what I've done for her, she didn't just want to leave me heartbroken, but also wanted a piece of everything I have? She was planning on doing this in a few months, and the boyfriend was in on it too. I think he was the one who actually suggested this, but I could be wrong. A day later, Shane confirmed this too, as he overheard Sal arguing with her to do it a bit quick. Finding this out completely shattered my heart and drained every drop of love I had for my wife. So after doing a bit of thinking and consulting with Shane, I've decided to play the game with her. While she works on creating fake evidence, I'll collect real evidence against her. And when she goes to divorce me, I will show everyone the truth. I'll make her think that she'll easily win till the last second, and then flip the tables on her. I think this is a great idea. What do you guys think? Update number 2. Hey guys, these past few months have been very tough. A lot tougher than I thought it would actually be. But my wife has finally made her move, and it was a long wait for me. And at times I even started thinking if all of this was even worth it. But seeing my wife lying to me on my face while she planned on running away with my money gave me enough motivation. For those of you who don't remember, I found out that my wife was cheating on me and was planning on framing me as a cheater to take half of everything I have. She wanted to take my money and run away with her boyfriend for probably many, many months. So I decided to play along. I'm gonna play a game with her. A few weeks after my last update, I started collecting evidence of everything she did that could be used as proof. I collected photos of her text messages, screenshots, even recorded a few calls, and got photos of her meeting with her boy toy. I also had the photo the ex had sent thanks to Shane. My friend Shane also helped me collect evidence whenever he could, and I eventually apologized to him for making him snoop on his own brother. When I did that, he said that he and his parents did not raise him to do things like this. Over a month ago, Artie asked me to give her friend something she had kept as she was busy with work. I knew for sure that this was to make me seem like I was out with a girl, so I asked Shane to tail me. When I found the friend, she forced me to have a coffee, and we talked for like 10 minutes. Shane actually found my wife and his brother taking photos and took pictures of them, trying to frame me. With this, I obviously had a good amount of evidence, and honestly more than I would need. So I just waited for my wife to get to the next step. I actually believed I was a very patient person until I found myself struggling to spend another day acting like everything was hunky-dory. But I did it anyways. What helped me was imagining the pain and the sense of betrayal mixed with the shame that would feel finding out that I already knew everything and planned against it. Honestly, I can't wait to tell her. Months ago, I was scared of even thinking of letting go of my wife, but now I've come to terms with it. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt, but now I'm okay with it. I don't want to spend my life with a person like her. So after waiting for a long time a week ago, my wife finally started her plan. A week ago, she came home and out of nowhere accused me of cheating. And it was sudden and real that I did not have to act for a good minute. Believe me, I did my best to seem surprised and unaware of what she was telling me. She had fake text and photos, and she kept asking me why I did it with tears in her eyes. I kept telling her I didn't do anything and acted just as I would have if I did not know anything. I begged and pleaded with her to listen to me, but she just called me a liar, a cheater, and left with her stuff. Trust me, I tried my best to convince her, but unfortunately it did not work. She went to her friends, and to this day I've gone there every day to try to talk to her. I hate doing this, but I know it's only going to make things better. Also, she actually told both mine and her family that I cheated, and now everybody's mad at me even though I keep telling them I didn't. I thought about telling my parents the truth, but then I thought that I could take them being mad at me for just a few months because I know I'll clear my name. So now I'm going to have to wait until she files for divorce, and then endgame starts. Guys, please wish me luck. Update 3. Hey guys, it's been a few months and I finally sort of have a positive update. Things did go my way. So without spending anything of a spoil, let me tell you what happened. So about a month after my last update, Artie filed for divorce. I kinda bugged her almost a whole month and pretended to give up when she refused to see my face. I let the divorce papers stew for a week but then signed it, kind of accepting that she was not going to listen to me. This is what she wanted, and I'm sure that she celebrated this win. Shane was obviously working with me and we had everything we needed ready. Believe me, when I say this, everybody believed her and hated me. Shane and my other biker buddies were the only ones on my side. But I don't hold a grudge or anything because I came out on top, baby. So, she immediately asked me to give her 50%, which I denied and gave her a great offer of getting 0%. And she threatened to take me to court and I told her I've done nothing wrong and she went forward. When I was so nervous thinking about everything I had gone through, it gave me confidence. I let Artie talk first and she laid a very sad story, which I immediately destroyed by providing proof of her trying to set me up with proof of her own cheating, and I gave them everything I had. I'll never forget the reaction Artie had on her face. I even turned around to look at her family members who had come with her and they were horrified. Artie looked like she had gone into a coma with her eyes open, and her name was called 3 times before she even responded. I completely boxed her in by exposing everything that she was trying to do, and she had no defense. Not even a good sentence against me, and she got humiliated, and her plea for 50% got rejected. It was decided that she was going to get nothing from me. It was to a point that she could not take anything from my house or other properties, and even if she had brought it for us, it was a huge win for me. But it was not over yet, see. It turns out Artie was not able to process how I did all this and confronted me later with her brother, who was urging her to go back to the car. So I told her everything about how I planned and set her up from the start. Well, she gets mad. She actually tried to attack me, guys, and her brother had to hold her back. She went back home crying, and the brother apologized to me, and I told him it wasn't his fault. Of course, after that, everyone in the family found out, and I got loads of apologies left and right from everyone, including Artie's parents. It turns out I reversed the situation, as now everyone was mad at her for doing what she did. A week or so after this, I found out that her family was so mad at what she did, they actually cut her off. Permanently. Now, I wasn't expecting for that to happen, but I can't say that I'm not happy about it. She deserves it. But you guys don't know the best part yet. I found out from Shane that after finding out that she was not going to get anything from me, Sal dumped her and refused to see her. A few weeks after that, she actually had the audacity to show up at my house and beg me to take her back. Can you believe it? She actually thought I was this stupid. She came with all these crocodile tears, expecting me to immediately melt and take her in. I had to control my urge to just slap her and tell her how bad of a person she was. I told her that she had caused me enough pain for 3 or even 4 decades, and I didn't want to do anything with her ever again. She begged, but I kicked her out and told her to never show her face again. I've not seen her since. It's been about 2 weeks since, and for some reason it still hurts. but I know I'll be okay. Lastly, I want to thank Shane for doing so much for me. He's a real one. And I want to thank you guys for doing equally the same by giving me great advice. So thank you.